Hi, welcome to Upcycled Scrapbooking. My name is Jen. Some of you might know me as Bugga Baby Mama on some of the chat groups on Ustream. Um, I have been scrapbooking since my daughter's 3 and she's 17 now, so I just have a healthy love of scrapbooking plus designing. So I wanted to show you something special today that I had designed. So let me so see. And this is what we're going to make today. This is a little, uh, sorry, it's a wallet mini. It is made from one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. And I know that's hard to believe, but it is, and it's inexpensive, and that's part of what upcycled scrapbooking is all about, is doing things inexpensively. So here is what I have. When you open it up, you've got the top flap, the bottom flap, and then you have the two side flaps, which gives you so much room to do your pictures. So in the top we have a top pocket. See the little pocket right here, and in there I've got little tags that came in the paper kit that I had used for this. Don't remember what the name of this one was. It was by DCWV, and I think it's about Nursery Boy or something like that. So, and these I made are photo mats to go inside here. So these three little photo mats, and you can make as many as you want. You could put a picture on the front and journal on the back, or put a picture on either side. You can also go to incomputech.com and print out grid marks on the back, like grid paper, and that'll give you journaling lines in case you don't have a journaling stamp. Another good way to be upcycled, okay? So these go in here, plus any tags, or these could be photos that you get and you just stick all the photos in there. Okay, and then here's your center area right here. And you could put one large 4x6 photo. You could put a pocket here like this. You can sit one here and put a bunch of 4x6 photos that you get normally at the drugstore, or you can put two photos. It doesn't matter, you can do whatever. And then right here, this is a little flap photo mat. So you flip them up. I'm sure you've seen where they do like it's called a waterfall effect. And so what I did is I made two photo mats, and this flips up, and this, you can put a photo here, here, here. So right there, that's 4 photos, or 8 of the smaller ones. Then I put a pocket down here, and I just can shove all my photos in there. You can just shove as many as you want, and as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 photos in there, just loose. And then I made this little tiny tag, and it can go in here if you want, and it can be like photo, journaling tag, whatever you want it to be. So let's flip that back down. And then right here, these, I'm going to move this over. This is a little side flaps, and it opens up like this so that you can get 7 small photos on here, front and back. Okay, so that means 7 photos here, 7 photos here, 1 or 2 here, unless you put a pocket here, and then you can get a ton. And you can do a ton here too, like you do 5 here, 7 to 9 here, 14. So minimum right now, you've got 25 photos right there, depending on how you do it, whether you do flip up mats, pockets, whatever. Okay, so this is just from one sheet of paper. Well, the bases. Okay, so close this up, and again, you can put photos here too if you want. I just chose to put decoration. Okay, so when I close this flap, I can actually make this a pocket. You could, if you wanted to, and make this more like 1.5 inches like our other pockets right here, so that you could actually have more real estate and put maybe like up to 5 more photos in here. So then you're increasing it to 30 photos. Okay, so what's so great about this is, if you notice, this is the size of a lady's wallet, and it fits great in our purses, and it's like way nicer than those little things we grew up with, the little plastic sleeves to put our photos in. And what's great about this is, for instance, I did this for my little boy. He's 4. And when he turns 10, I'm not going to want to carry this around. I'm going to want new stuff that's more his age. And what this works is doubles as a mini album. So when I'm done, I can actually go set this on my mantle or on my coffee table or with my other photo albums. And it's a nice little mini photo album that I can use for people to look through that captures that time in his life. So let's get started, and we're going to make this today. Okay, so what you're going to start needing is a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Okay, so take your scoreboard, and you're going to score your paper at, on one side you're going to score it at 2.5 and 9 1/4. So we'll start with doing that on our sheet of paper right here. Okay, if you do not have a scoreboard, another upcycled way of doing this would be to take your paper trimmer, and this is just one thing I say invest in. Now, I do not have the one that's wider because they're more expensive. This works just right for me, and it's not too expensive. So if you do not have a scoreboard, what you want to do is find the area where you need to do it. We're at the 2.5 in this instance, and just use some scoring tool of some kind and just score it down in that groove. You know, lift your bar up. Okay, so you actually do. Some of these, I think Provocraft actually has a scoring tool blade with it, and I used to use that one, but I like this one better, the Fiskars. So anyway, so let's get started. So on your 12 by 12, you need to score at 2.5. Okay, I double score on here just because it's thick. That's another thing really quick. I'm using the Basil craft color because I'm going to do a travel one. We just came back from vacation, and so I wanted to do one that was about our travels in Florida. So I'm using the craft color, and you need your cardstock to actually be strong, like the way medium weight to heavy weight, like DCWVs or Basil. Okay, and in this case I'm using Basil. So at 2.5 and 9 1/4, 9 1/4. Okay, now turn your paper the other way. Okay, the other direction, one turn, and now you want to score in 4 places. You want to score at 3 3/4. Okay, so do that twice. 3 3/4 inch, 4 inch, which is only 1/4 farther. Okay, so 3 3/4 and 4 inches, and then all the way down at 8 inches, 8 inches, and 8 1/4 inches. Okay. All right. Now that we've done that, let me put this out of the way, and then we're going to fold in our outer score marks. Because if you notice, we have 2 inner score marks right in here, and we will reinforce those, but right now we're going to fold it the other one. Now let me introduce you to my bone folder. Yes, it is a bunny rabbit. I just have never found the need to invest in a bone folder. So I've chosen to use my 4-year-old's silverware. It's from Zoo Pals, I think it is, from the grocery store, where you get their kids' plastic silverware, and this is the butter knife. They also have a beaver and a whale, so, you know, whatever you like. Okay, so let's go ahead and fold all our score marks right here. Reinforce all the outer score marks, okay? So let's do that real quick. All right. And it's okay if you reinforce the other ones too, the inner ones, but I really want to get the main ones out so you can see them, because we're going to be cutting the corners, those corner boxes off, okay? So it's really good if we can get those first. So, and this one wants to do the inner one on me. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Now that we have these all done, and you can see where they are, you are going to set this so that your paper has the longer, wider pieces facing you. okay? You don't want it this way where it's the narrow ones facing you. You want where the longer ones are facing, the wider ones are facing you, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to cut with your scissors right here along the score mark up past the first score line to that second score line, okay? To that inner one. Okay, so let's do that real quick. A lot of people like to use the little X-Acto knife or the little blade things, and I'm impatient, so I like to do it with my scissors. If you don't cut straight, I would say do it on your paper cutter, or go ahead and use the here's my this is my knife that I use sometimes. My husband got me that. So you're going to cut off each quarter so that let me show you. I'm going to cut one more, and again you want to cut that inner score mark right here. Okay, just cut along, and what you're doing is you're cutting off those 4 corners so we can have our little book. Okay, and so what it'll look like is it'll be able to fold like that. Okay, so let me do a swap out and show you what we got. Here we go. This is the finished product. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to reinforce the second score mark that is right here. So what you do is you just flip it over, and you're gonna reinforce that second score mark that is 1/8 of an inch, and it will look like this when you're done. Okay, so that helps give you the thickness that you need for when you add your photos. Okay, all right, so now that we're done with this, I'm going to show you what paper pack that I chose to use for my travel. It's called the Travel Stack. It's by DCWV, and it's really cute, but what makes it even cuter is the price I got for it. It was at Marshall's for $3.99. Ladies, if you have not been there, I'm not one that likes Marshall's ever because I need things more organized. I'm just one of them people. So that store always frustrated me. But my mom loves that store, and she went there and found that they started carrying this, and just got me so excited because this is about 75% off of what you pay in the store, like at Michael's and other places. And you can't get 75% off. There's no coupon that's going to give you that much. So ladies, check them out. Okay. So I love DCWV because it's really strong. This is the premium stack, which means you're getting great quality paper, and it's the 8x8. So 8x8 stack is great for this because all you need for this is one 12x12 sheet of paper. So and well, 2 would be good because we're going to make those little fold outs, or 2 8.5x11s. Okay. So, but I'll put all the instructions down in there or on my blog. Okay, so now we want to cover the other side, and I have already done this. Isn't it cute? It looks like luggage. I love it. Let me show you. It closes up like this, and it looks like luggage, and I love it. It's so cute. It just looks like I've got some luggage right here. So I just flip it open, and here's the back. So what I did is, and what you're going to want to do is ink your edges up. Find something that matches the paper that you're using. I invested in this Ink Essentials little inking pad because I like that I can change these out. There is somebody on YouTube, and I'll try to put that down in the comments, that shows you how to make this yourself, and so be frugal. So I highly suggest you do that. I'm going to do whatever she does to make these pads because I don't want to spend any more money. I have to. Okay, so once you've covered this, remember, ink all your edges up and then put your paper down. And I just use brown. I get these little color box ones, and I just use my thing on it and ink it up. Okay, so now that we've got this done, now we can work on the inside. Now, and I'm going to show you again on mine. When you flip it open, I have a pocket right here. So let's get started on this. And the first thing you want to do is put a base paper down. And remember, you want to measure. And if you want to leave a margin, well, a border, you're going to want to leave 1/8. So that means you need to take 1/8 and 1/8, which is a quarter, off of the measurement that you get here, and the same this way. Okay, so I have got something already ready, and so go ahead and measure your first, at your top of your thing right here. Measure at the top, and you're going to, this should be, I think I cut mine at 3.5 by 6.5. Okay, so just always measure yours. Don't go by my measurements, go by yours. Okay, so I've got right here my paper, and again, we want to ink the edges so it just looks finished. So I'm going to do that real quick. Just grab your, I'm going to fold it over like this, and I'm not going to do it, you know, super in depth. I need more ink. I can tell I'm about to run out. I think brown is my favorite next to sand beige, and black. I've got all these other colors, and I hardly use them because I just love this one. So I like to just, I'm not one that likes a lot of inking because I'm a little more like of the OCD where I like things really clean and stuff. Okay, right here you're going to want to fold back your little edge on your score mark. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to do as much here because we're going to be putting a pocket there. All right. So now that I'm done, I'm going to adhere this. And again, on this one, I don't really like to use glue. I'd rather use this, so I'm going to put this down first. You can just use your whatever you choose to use. I also like that Thermoweb. I'll show you that in a second. The Thermoweb tape for when I'm not using my ATG, and when you go to crops, it's nice and small too, so you can use that. Here's a Thermoweb. It's a pink little cute thing. They're really nice too. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down. I chose to leave a border, so, and that's why I did the inking the way I did. So let's put that down. Oops. Okay. All right, so that's done. All right, now let's add our pocket. Okay, now if your paper, your decorative paper is not real strong, you're going to want to reinforce this with a piece of cardstock. So just cut a cardstock strip the same size and just glue, adhere this on top of that, and then you can do this. Okay, so for this we're going to use the Scotch quick dry adhesive. This stuff, there's nothing gonna, this thing is so strong. I love it. Okay, the reason you're not using adhesive is because if you put the adhesive here, when you put your photo mat in there, it's going to stick every time to that ATG tape, to that adhesive, the sticky adhesive right here, because it's always fresh. With glue, it's going to dry, and you'll be able to get it in and out easily. So you only want to do it on the right, left, and the bottom. Okay, and just do about a 1/16 bead of glue, not real wide. Just go along, because you don't need much, and this stuff is really strong. So excuse me, I gotta get a needle. I always keep a needle handy because these seem to clog no matter what you do. I've tried everything, having them stored upside down, caps on, caps off, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so this, I think that's to do the weather too. All right, so now we're just gonna line that up with the paper. I'm going to go a little bit lower than my paper, so it's closer to that. You don't want to be on your full score mark. You want to be just above it. Okay. All right, so there we go, and that's done, just like that. And then you can cut some of your decorative paper and make a photo mat. And your photo mat, mine is 6 1/4 by, no, sorry, 6 inches by 3 1/4. Okay, so it'll just fit down in there. I'm not going to do it right now because that glue is trying to dry, but it'll just fit inside there. Okay, and that's where your pictures go. And I chose to do mine to match because we went to the beach, and I just thought that would be cute. Okay, so now that part is done, and we get to move on. Let's go to the center. Again, you want to notice that you have that folded area. So let's ink that real quick. Use whatever you want that's going to match your paper, or you know, the whole thing that you've got going. And this one you do want to do all the sides because they'll be showing. Okay, so let me fold this over. Sorry. I appreciate you being patient with me, as this is my first time teaching on a video. And I appreciate your patience. Sorry, my ink was not cooperating. And again, fold back that little scored area, because you'll be lining it up with that inner score mark. Like I said, I'm not a big person for inking. I do know it really enhances things really well, but again, I'm one that doesn't like to over embellish, doesn't like a lot of florals or things, and my mom's just the opposite. She loves all those florals. I'm just a little more conservative, I think. I like things. Okay, so good enough. All right, so now let's apply tape to this and let's put it on there. And again, remember to measure. In the case of my center mat, my thing measures 6 3/4 by 4, and I wanted to leave an 1/8 inch margin around, so that's a quarter taken off this way and a quarter this way. So my measurement became 3 3/4 by 6 1/2. Okay, so yours may be the same, maybe not, but mine was 3 3/4 by 6 1/2. Okay. So let me, I like to make sure this one, because people are going to be in and out, looking at this one a lot, put a little more tape on that one. Okay. So, and remember, if you have directional paper like I'm using, this is Word, so it's going one way, make sure that your paper is going the right direction for the way your mat is. Okay. Okay. So there we go. Now it's ready for photos or a pocket. I think I am going to put a pocket there because, man, I can get a lot more pictures in there then. Okay, now let's move on to the bottom. Okay, in the bottom area, I used I did the flaps. This is where we're going to, sorry, use the waterfall effect flaps, and you can put a pocket there if you would like. Okay, so let's first put our mat down. Measure your mat both directions, and remember if you want to edge, and we need to ink it. So I'm only going to ink the top because I think that's the main part that's going to be showing. I might do the bottom too because I might not put a pocket. I'm not sure yet. When in doubt, ink it all, right? So I have a 4-year-old and a 17-year-old. My 17-year-old is my daughter. She's a senior in high school. And my son is 4, almost 4 1/2. She's 17 1/2. And he's adopted from Guatemala. And that's what I made that little wallet mini for him, and then I have another one for my daughter that I'm going to show you. Okay, I've got this upside down, sorry. Okay, so we're ready now to put this paper on, and I've chosen this paper, so I'm going to put it down. Now here's something different I'm doing down here. Because I'm making the flaps that are going to go over this, I've chosen to keep the length, the width exactly the same. I did not trim off 1/8 inch on each side because it's going to be covering over it. And so I'm going to match this up centered because I did take an 1/8 inch off at the top and the bottom. So I'm going to adhere that down real quick. Ooh, squeaky. Sorry. I think everybody's are squeaky. I probably need some WD-40 in them. I don't know. I'll have to have my husband look at it. Okie doke. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so if you want to, you could actually ink the edges of the paper. Again, I like that clean look, so I won't be doing that. But feel free. I mean, I think some of y'all are so gorgeous, and I just wish I could do things the same way as some other people do, but I just don't seem to do it the same. Okay, so remember I'm matching edge to edge because we're going all the way to edge, but I'm centering it this direction. Okay, so now your bottom mat is done. Now we're going to make the excuse me, I've had a sore throat. We're going to make sorry, I had to turn off my fan, it was drying me out. The waterfall flaps. One is going to be smaller than the other, so you're going to need to have two different measurements. And again, you're going to have to measure yours. You can go by my measurements, but it may not be exact. So here's what you need to do for that, okay? What you'll need to do is your first measurement will be from the bottom here up to the top here of your paper, okay? It should be below, like a 1/16 below the the outer score line. And what you need to do is use that measurement and then add 1/4 inch, because your 1/4 inch is the little flap that you're going to fold under. And I'll show you right here. See, this is the flap and this is the little 1/4 inch, and so it'll go like, you know, like this, fold it over like this. Okay, all right, so my first one I cut at 4 1/8 by 6 3/4. Okay, so you'll need to cut your first one at 4 1/8 and 6 3/4. Then your second one is cut at 3 3/4 and 6 3/4. All right, so I'm going to check and see which ones these are. This is my 6 3/4 by 4 1/8. Okay, so on this one, I need to get my scoreboard out, or whatever you have to score with, and I'm going to score 1/4 inch. Boy, I'm having trouble there. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna do 1/4 inch. So, and pay attention to the direction of your paper. My paper is going one direction, so I need to make sure that I score it in the right place, because if I scored it here, it'd be upside down. So I'm gonna score it 1/4 inch. Okay. All right, so that's scored right there. And then this is my second one, the 3 3/4 by 6 3/4. Yours may be the same, it may be different. Just make sure you measure twice, cut once. Sometimes I have to cut 2 and 3 times. I mess up. Okay, so I'm all done with that. Put that up and get out my bunny bone folder. You know, we're all upcycled here. Use what you got and save your money. You know, because you want these beautiful papers, and you know, unless you're printing them digitally, and again, that's going to cost ink. It's just you want to put your money in the paper and the embellishments, so you need to save money where you can. So, okay, this is now where I have my 2 flaps ready. But if you notice, I don't have a double-sided paper here, so I really need to do another mat on there. So before I go any further, I'm going to do that. And I have cut 2 pieces that will cover it. One is at 3 7/8 by 6 3/4. That goes on my larger one. And the other one I cut at 3 1/2 by 6 3/4. Okay, so you can go ahead and hear them. I'm not going to take the time to do that now. We'll just get this done. All right, now score tape. This is the other thing that you need. Some people like to use the red tape. That's fine. This is Recollections by Michaels. It's their brand of red tape, and it's a good tape. I just love the score tape. I think because I can tear it if I want really easily, and that film that's on this red film that covers this, it's got static in it, and it sticks to your hands and everything else, and it takes forever to get it off. I like to use this. So what we're going to do, and this is 1/4" score tape, and I sell it on my website at Upcycle Scrapbooking. My daughter lived for 3 years with chronic headaches. She had 5 headaches, all different kinds and different scales of pain for 3 years, and we went through a lot of medicines and treatments, and all of them failed. And I almost forgot to do this other one. And it was hard because she's homeschooled, always been homeschooled, and she loves to read, and she could no longer read anymore, so homeschool was having to do a lot of things orally. She couldn't do anything more than 10 minutes at a time, so I had to start doing things to help raise money to help pay the medical bills. So if you need some score tape, I have a really great price on my website. It's really competitive. My 1/4" rolls are, I think, $4.50 a roll, and my 1/2", I want to say, are $6.25. So just go check it out and order. And if I don't have any in stock, you can pre-order it, and we can get as many as you need. And the holidays coming up, you might want to do that. I know I go through my score tape. So all right, let's get started. All right, you have 2 different sizes, the smaller one and the bigger one. I like to put the smaller one down first. So let's remove, and by the way, make sure you have reinforced your score mark, okay? Pull your score tape cover off, fold your thing over. You're going to line up at the very bottom of your page there, your flap, because you want it to cover up the whole thing. So I kind of like hold it down right there, fold this under, and then just adhere it down. Just like that. Look at that. Yay! We've got our little flap. Another thing I did on all of mine, for my little boy, I don't know if you noticed, but all the corners are rounded. I just use, this tells you how long I've been scrapbooking because I have a Creative Memories corner rounder. So I just rounded all the edges of mine. I think it gives it a nice softer look, and I also feel like it's less chance of, with a lot of heavy wear and tear, of the corners tearing. So I'll go back and do that on this one as well. Okay, so we've got our first flap down, yay! So now we're going to do our second flap, and again you're going to remove this score tape. Make sure that you've already reinforced that fold. Okay. I apologize for my throat. Okay, so this is going to be the same way. Remember, this is longer, so again you're going to line it up over the top to the very bottom of your flap, and then just do the same thing when you adhere it down. And it should fall. Let me turn this around because that's hard to see upside down because I'm doing this upside down. This should all line up with right below your score line. Sorry, this is really harder to do upside down. So, I mean, yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry, that took me a second. Okay, and if you look, I still got just a 1/16 of an inch from that score line, so we're good. So I took the same paper that I made the base out of, the craft basil, and you don't have to. If you notice in this one, I chose to use a coordinating cardstock color, so you can do whatever you would like. Sorry, I had to use a cough drop. My throat was getting dry. Okay, so you will cut your strip to 10 inches by 3 7/8. But remember, you want to measure this and make sure, because your measurements could be different than mine. Okay, so having said that, Mine is 10 inches by 3 7/8. And then we're going to score it. We're going to score at 2.5, 5 inches, and 7.5. Okay? 2.5, 5 inches, and 7.5. Then you're going to fold it accordion style. Okay? Like this. All right. Now, to know which way to put it on here, you want the folded edge on the outside and the this edge on the inside near the score line. Sorry, I'm just fumbling there for a second. Okay, now I like to add a little I call it chomped out half circle, and I've done that with my EK Success 1-inch punch, but any 1-inch punch will do, or whatever size. You may want it really big, you may not want to do that at all, but I like it because when it's laying down here, you want to be able to pick it up easily. Whatever. You may choose to put a hole in there, maybe put some decorative ribbon, and people can pull it like a little tag. That would be cute. A little tab on there would be cute. I'm dying to get one of those little tab punches, but I haven't been able to find them. So if you guys know where they are, let me know. You can put that in the comments. Okay, so for this one, you want to find the halfway mark on your paper and use your punch. Now, if you look on my punch, I have marked the halfway point from both directions so that I can make half circles. Okay, so I've marked mine somewhere. Oh, here, this end. Okay, and so I'm going to line it up, and I'm only going to do about 1/4 of the way instead of half. Ooh, there we go. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to adhere this with glue. The reason I use the glue is because when that stuff is on, this quick dry glue is on there, nothing pulls that sucker up. It is so strong and it dries really fast. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that my glue is not clogged, because when it goes fast. So let me just pop this in there real quick. I just use a needle. Again, upcycle scrapbooking. Okay, so let's put this along here. And you don't want to be thick, but you don't want to be stingy. Okay, because you want to make sure this really adheres down well and doesn't clog up. And my glue is obviously squeaky. Okay, remember, the folded edge goes on the outside, and I line it up with the outside edge, not the inside fold. Okay? Okay. Go. And again, you don't have to use the same color paper. You can use something that coordinates. You can, now, if you don't want to get a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, you can just get 8.5, because the longest you need this is 10 inches unless you choose to go longer. But you're not going to get but 2 more inches, so it's just because with a 12 by 12, so it's just better to get 8.5. Okay, so that's it. Now, you can mat these if you want with your coordinating paper. I choose not to, because I'm actually going to put photos on here, so it would just be a waste of paper for me, because I'm probably going to take up the whole area, because it's a small area. These are, let's see, oops, I have little stickers on my thing. These are 3 7/8 by 2.5. So you can get a 2.5 by 3.5 picture at least on there. And that's great. Okay. And so remember, 7 photos on this side, 7 on this side. Pocket. I think I'm going to put another pocket here. And that's going to be able to put several pictures. If you notice, if I was just a mom that didn't have time more than just to make this, let's say you made this as a gift for somebody and they're not a scrapbooking type person, they don't have to be. Just the wallet size photos, they can trim them to go right on there. See, look at that. All I have to do is trim off that edge and it goes in there perfect. Okay, or they can just stick them in the pocket. But what's cool is it gives them something way more decorative. Now, you can also fit on here. Let me measure this for you. Whoops, wrong side. Okay, you can definitely get your 4 by, well, not quite 4, sorry, 3 3/4. Okay, so not quite a 4 by 6 would fit here. You could do a 3 by 5, or you could trim out a 4 by 6 smaller, so that they want to do one photo here, or again, put a pocket and put several of them in there. Okay. So, and I think usually at the print, like CVS and them, they trim them shorter than 4x6 anyways. Okay. So again, right here, if you'll notice, now remember, I'm going to put a photo mat on here on mine like this. Okay. But you still have this little strip that's showing. All you have to do is cut a coordinating piece of paper, or use this and cut it longer so that it covers all the way down on that folded flap area right here, all the way to the top. And then it's covered up. No biggie. Okay? So then it's perfect. And then you're done. That is all you have to do. So let's close this up. I'm going to close this up this way. And then this goes this way. And tuck in my little pictures. It goes this way. And look, it's all done. And I love this because it looks like a little suitcase. Now, the other thing that you can do, and I highly recommend this, put clear contact paper on this. I put clear contact paper on mine, and this is what it looks like. It comes like, this is Duck brand, Clear Laminate is what it's called. I get it at Walmart, and the roll is like this thick. You know, it's like this thick. This, look how much I've used already, and this has been, I've had this for a year. So you get your money's worth, and this is only like $5, okay? So you're just going to cut it. You're just going to pull out a piece, and you want to cover this front and back. And you do want to go over this edge, because with a lot of wear and tear, it could start, you know, tearing, and you don't want that to happen. So that's what's so great about this clear contact. It helps when people are in and out of your pocketbook, and it just gets, you know, it's going to handle the wear and tear. And I can tell you that because mine has. I have the clear laminate on it. I matted it first, then I put the clear laminate on, then I decorate it with the embellishments just to give it to more 3D, and like it felt more scrapbooked. I didn't want to put it under the laminate because I wanted people to be able to see and feel the thickers that I put on there and some of the elements. Okay, so those are on top. Okay, but I did it on the back. Now I didn't do it on this part, but you may want to. It's all up to you. It just reduces the wear and tear. Okay, so now let me show you what I did for my daughter. I told you my daughter is 17 years old, 17 and a half. She's a senior. And I wanted to make something for her because she's always going out with her friends at the mall and her youth group and everything. And I wanted something that was more girly. And if you notice, the size is different on this one. It's different dimensions, but still a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Okay? I used the Authentique paper on this one. And this is laminated here. The only thing I might do different is you could put a magnet here or Velcro, or use, I used a ribbon, but I would probably use an elastic ribbon. So it's easier, she could just stretch it over it. Okay? And if you notice, I allowed for her, especially, you know how teenagers are, an 1/8 inch of space. I think I did a little more than an 1/8 for her to load it up. Okay, so let's look at it. Hers is a little smaller, and because girls, you know, their purse is a little smaller, and I made her some photo mats. Flip down and look at her little waterfall book. I love it. Hers has got 3. You can add as many waterfalls pages, photo mats, as you want that'll fit there. And then here is her little flip outs for her to add her photos. And you know how the girls are. I think I'm going to add her another pocket right there, because you know how girls are, and they're and going out with their girlfriends and stuff. They love looking through each other's purses and their photos and seeing themselves. And so this is a great gift. So I will put up a kit, a tutorial that tells you the dimensions on this as well. So you'll have this wallet mini that we just made. You'll have those measurements and instructions, and then this alternative one that you can make. Okay, so remember that you can get score tape at my website. I think the 1/4 inch is $4.50 and the 1/2 inch is $6.25. And I do flat rate shipping in the U.S. because it's you can put so many of these rolls in there for that price. So that works really, really well. Don't forget you want to get your clear laminate at Walmart. Also, if you need ATG tape, I have a lady on my website that you will want to get it from. Her name is Betty Brett .blogspot.com. The link is on my right hand side of my blog in the sidebar, and it has uh, ATG tape. I mean, really, really, really expensive. It works great. I use it. I keep buying it from her. She's the sweetest lady. Then there's another lady that sells chipboard, and she sells it really, really inexpensively. And again, I love to support other scrapbookers and families versus having to buy from major companies. So, get out there and support one another because we're all doing this for our families. But if you go to my blog at upcycledscrapbooking.blogspot.com, you will see I have on the sidebar a link to purchase her ATG tape. Sorry, I'm stumbling. And and Wanda's Whimsical Wonders.blogspot.com has the chipboard. Here's my address. So if you need to pause it and see this, it's Upcycled Scrapbooking. Again, I love to do things as cheap as possible. Remember, you can always save money by saving your cereal boxes and using things that come in the mail to embellish with. And again, don't forget where you can get your bone folders at any grocery store. It's my little bunny bone folder. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this project, and I really hope to hear from you in the comments below and on my blog, and share with me the ones you've made. Remember, this is an awesome gift for people. I'm making one for a friend that's getting married tomorrow. I'm making one for her so that she has one to match the wedding album I made her, so that she has one in her wallet to show off her wedding photos in a fun way, and then it turns into a little mini album for her. When she's done carrying them around, she can put it on her coffee table, she can put it on her shelf with her other photo albums, and it becomes a little mini album, and that's what makes it so great. It was inexpensive, but it's a great gift. It's really great for those people in your life that do not scrapbook, but always admire the things that you can make. Make this for them. Show them how they can just print out, stick their things on there. Give them an acid-free glue stick and this gift. This is a great Christmas gift. You can do a Halloween version, a Christmas version, wedding, baby. If you got any people that are going to have some babies. I mean, and like I said, this is for a teenager. Your teenagers, this is great for them. And gifts for all their girlfriends, or maybe have a party where they make these. So let me hear from you, and I thank you, and I hope you'll come and visit me more. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing below, and let me know where your link to your blog is so I can follow you as well. Thank you, and God bless.